Actually, wait like 5 seconds. I'll tell you why.
When I hear you let the dogs go, ready?
Wow, now. That's a Brown sound. Welcome back to the Jacked Up Fantasy Football League Preview Show. We continue with Mark the Bulldog. If you guys haven't figured that one out, we're going in the order of the draft board. So the second worst team last year, Mark the Bulldog, is first year in the league. Show is brought to you by Heineken Light, our only sponsor this season.
In a can.
And the host, as always, the back-to-back league champion, the Archon Tigers, who brought his trophy with him, just to remind us once again that he won the last 2 years. And yours truly, the commissioner. Let's talk about Mark the Bulldog. He was an expansion team last year, so it's his second year in the league, for those of you that can't do the math. His career record is 5-9, a whopping 5-9. Actually, I predicted last year he was going to win 4 games, so he overachieved in my book. Before we even get into the, the picks and everything, do you think the guy has room for improvement? From what you've seen in 1 year, has he shown he has a skill to compete in this league?
Based on this draft, no, I don't. Mark, I'm sorry. I did not like your draft. I think it was one of the worst ones, and there's no way of sugarcoating it. I hope you're around for years to come. I think you need to really look at how people build their depth and what kind of players it takes to win on these teams.
So basically, do what winners do and analyze the draft.
That saying's old. I mean, that's a given. I would emulate someone that's winning, obviously. But, Mark, I mean, come on. Peyton Manning with the second pick of the draft. That's what started.
Well, we're going to get into that. So
that's what started it all off for me.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's fair.
I hate to be negative this early on.
That's all right. Well, best finish. He doesn't really have a best finish after 1 year. So, of course, no playoffs. So let's talk about that. Let's jump right into the breakdown here. Peyton Manning at number 2. I agree with you 100%. I think it was too early.
This screwed the whole draft board up.
Yeah. Well,
it moved everyone up one.
It gave Jake the opportunity to take Peterson.
Best running back in my eyes.
MJD, Ray Rice, all these guys dropped the place. I think he should have been the last pick of the first round or the first pick of the second round.
He just didn't want me getting him again. That's my theory. I like if he does.
I was surprised, Mark. I mean, I don't know. Again, no disrespect.
He's not even the best fantasy quarterback out there.
He is consistent, but it's going to come a time where the guy's numbers are going to start to drop. I mean, he'll still be a winning quarterback, but we're all about fantasy points here.
Right. I think you got to grab the running back right away.
I will tell you, though, if Gonzalez comes back healthy this year, he's got a lot of weapons.
Oh, definitely. They're
loaded.
No denying
Garcon and Austin Collie prove they can be starters. Dallas Clark is his go-to guy all the time when he's in a pinch. And you got Donald Brown, you got Adai. I mean, the guy.
He could have had Tony Romo. Okay. You take Adrian Peterson, second round, you get Tony Romo because you got him. That's a nice start to the team. But look who he has now.
Mendenhall.
Manning and Mendenhall?
Yeah, I mean, definitely a lower tier running back to get in the second round. I would have taken my chances with the rookie Ryan Matthews or, actually, I'm sorry, it wraps around. I need to pay attention to the snake.
That's all right.
Pierre Thomas, or actually one of the receivers. Right? Yeah. He could have had Miles Austin. He could have had, the trend of receivers started right after Mendenhall. Right. So he kind of opened it up for everybody else to take a stud receiver.
Right.
So
I mean, not to say that Mendenhall won't score. They're going to run more this year. But with your second round pick, I think you get Tony Romo and you start out with AP, excuse me.
Brandon Marshall, the guy was the stud. He was the man in Denver. This is a different offense in Miami. He averaged 100 receiving yards or 100 receptions back-to-back seasons, even after being suspended for a game or two. I don't see it happening in Miami. This is a run-first, control the clock, defensive-minded team, possession team, and he doesn't fit, in my opinion, in the Miami Dolphins offense.
He'll get the looks in the red zone, but it remains to be seen how many times that's going to be with Chad Henne at quarterback. I think they're definitely going to pound the ball with Brown and Williams, and Brandon Marshall is the third option in that offense.
I think he drops to about 70 to 75 receptions this year.
Yeah, could be.
So
we both agree on that.
I'm not sold on Chad Henne. His best pick of the draft.
Well, his best pick, we're going to base it on where they're picked. I mean, I'd have to say Felix Jones.
And I was going to say the same thing. I agree with Felix Jones. I think he's going to have.
He's an AP type.
Yeah.
If they commit to him, that guy could have 12 touchdowns this year.
Yeah. The only problem with him
Not
is
bad for someone in the 7th round.
no, not at all. I mean, he could be, like I said, he's got the speed. He's a stud. But it's a running back by committee. It's a three-headed monster in Dallas with Barber and
That's
Deshaun Choice.
why he was available at 7. But that's if you call me pick. That's
I
what
agree. Worst pick of the draft. I think you already answered that question. Peyton Manning, 2nd overall pick. Or do you have another one?
I have another one.
Wow.
Actually.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
He took Debo in the 4th round, and I got Anquan Bolden in that same round at the 12th pick. Compare the two.
Steve Smith was still on the board too.
Anquan Bolden versus Dwayne Bowe. Who do you like?
Anquan Bolden.
With Flacco at quarterback? I mean, these are just some things. Dwayne Bowe is overrated in my eyes. And Matt Castle.
Plus he's a punk too. He's got
Right.
attitude issues too.
Mark, I would have taken Anquan Bolden there.
But you never know. I mean, with the fat ass Charlie Wise there doing offensive coordinator, might figure it out for him. So that's cool. That's fine. Sleeper pick of the draft for Mark the Bulldog.
I like Vincent Jackson in round 9. If he could get the contract dispute settled, that's a nice pick at 9.
Absolutely.
That's your number 1 receiver.
I agree 100%. His prediction, bold prediction for the Bulldogs.
I think he stays 5 and 9.
Okay. And last year I predicted he's going to win 4 games, and I think this year he wins 4 games. He goes 4 and 10, 5 and 9. Mark, I think you're gonna bump up a spot from the 2nd overall pick in the draft to the 1st overall pick in the draft. Sorry, but I just don't think you had a good draft.
Mark, I hope we're wrong, but that happens very rarely.
Yeah. But that's all the time we have. Good luck to Mark this season. Don't forget to send me the $110, what I think will be a donation.
This year it will be.
So that's all the time we have. We'll see you guys next with my favorites, one of my favorites on the board, Jake the Snake.
Adios, amigos.